From action flick to rom-com, everyone has that one movie that no matter how many times they've seen it before, they just can't resist watching it again. Maybe it's the awesome plot or amazing effects, or maybe it's just one singular scene that draws people back in again and again. What makes these scenes worthy of repeat viewings? See for yourself. Rosebud. With one whispered word, Orson Welles single-handedly invented the concept of the mind-blowing twist ending.
Rosebud.
Citizen Kane is considered by many to be the greatest film ever made, and it holds up remarkably well. But it's the twist at the end that keeps viewers coming back. With his last, dying breath, Charles Foster Kane reminds us that despite the wealth and power he has amassed, nothing can compare to his innocent and happy childhood.
I don't think any word can explain a man's life. No, I guess Rosebud is just a piece in a jigsaw puzzle.
The reveal of what Rosebud actually meant, and the fact that no one in the world of the film will ever understand it, comes as a profoundly emotional shock.
Rosebud.
Is his sled. It was his sled from when he was a kid.
Considering how many times this film has been parodied, there's no denying its cultural imprint, especially in today's nostalgia-obsessed climate. The shock of a lifetime. Jackie Chan is no stranger to death-defying stunts. The action star claims to have broken nearly every bone in his body, and that's not hard to believe if you've seen any of his movies. But all his jumps, kicks, flips, and flails pale in comparison to his signature stunt in Police Story. Known as perhaps the greatest stunt in movie history, it features Chan jumping off a balcony, sliding down a pole, and crashing through live electrical wires and plate glass. The stunt is so iconic that the film shows it 3 times in a row from 3 different angles. Chan ended up electrocuting himself, dislocating his pelvis, and cutting himself on the glass. If this dedication isn't worth a few dozen viewings, then nothing is. Pool fantasies at Ridgemont High. In the history of cinema, no single moment has turned more boys into men than Phoebe Cates' slow-mo strut from the pool in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's pretty obvious why this is one of the most rewatched scenes of all time.
You know how cute I always thought you were.
And it's not just about a beautiful girl strutting around in a bikini, it's funny too. After Brad's fantasy, the audience is then shown the cold, hard, embarrassing reality of the situation. For anyone who's ever been a teenager in love, this scene is relatable, iconic, and totally rewatchable. A real trooper. No one understands better than George Lucas how difficult it is to make a movie.
But I did have a vision, but my vision was way beyond what was possible. And I did the best I could.
He did so many things wrong in his original Star Wars trilogy that he went back in and fixed them. By fix, we mean, of course, jam the movie so full of special effects that audiences can barely find any trace of the original actors or sets in some scenes. But one iconic scene was actually improved by Lucas's meddling. Decades of jokes have been made at the expense of the poor stormtrooper who banged his head on the doorway. Lucas even added a bonk sound effect to emphasize the moment for the special edition release. The whisper heard round the world. Lost in Translation was one of the most original and oddly romantic movies to come out in years. However, it left audiences scratching their heads with its final scene. Bill Murray's morose acting legend is saying goodbye to Scarlett Johansson's lonely newlywed. While they share a wonderful friendship, it is clear that they'll never see each other again. Then, Murray leans in close and whispers something in Johansson's ear. You can hear that he's whispering, but what he actually said was too quiet for the mics to pick up. There are tons of theories, but it looks like whatever Murray said to Johansson is staying between them. Even director Sofia Coppola was kept in the dark. That mysterious whisper and the rest of this beautiful and poignant film has kept audiences coming back for over a decade. A head-spinning ending. There's nothing more maddening than an ambiguous ending. And no ambiguous ending was more maddening than that of Inception, Christopher Nolan's action-adventure dream heist. As Leonardo DiCaprio's dream thief Dom Cobb finally returns home to his children, he sets a top spinning on the dining room table. He runs off to greet his children, but the camera goes back to the top, which was established earlier in the film as a tool for Cobb to tell whether he was awake or still dreaming. If he was in a dream, the top would spin forever without falling. Just when the top is about to fall, the movie cuts to black. Nolan has never confirmed any of the extensive fan theories that have come up. Perhaps that's the point, trapping you in an endless loop where you will never know how the story ends. Or maybe it's just a cool ending. One morose Munchkin. Following the yellow brick road sure is fun. That is, until you get old enough to start noticing what's dangling just through the trees. As familiar as The Wizard of Oz is to multiple generations of fans, one aspect of the film remained hidden to all but the most eagle-eyed viewers. For years, rumors circulated about a dead Munchkin hanging from a noose in the background while our merry band of travelers skipped into the distance. The studio eventually denied this, claiming that it was just a bird. When the remastered version was released in 1998, the rumor was debunked, as the figure in the distance was, indeed, just a bird. Still, stranger things have happened somewhere over the rainbow. Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel, plus check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.